폴 브레이크 둘째 날 화요일이고요. 어제 날씨가 밤에 좀 추웠었는지 목이 되게 아팠어요. 그리고 막 감기 기운이 훅하니 자다가 오는 바람에 오늘은 갑자기 긴팔을 또 꺼내 입었습니다. 오늘은 매직 트리하우스 18권 18번째 이야기 읽어볼 겁니다. 버팔로 비포 브레이크퍼스트라고 적혀 있어요. 아침 먹기 전에 버팔로 그런 건데, 버팔로가 미국 물소 얘기하는 거예요. 이제 여기 미국에 소 종류 되게 많은데, 보통 처음에는 이제 야생소를 잡아서 길들여서 그렇게 가축을 만들었고, 이제 그 중에서 이제 이 버팔로가 나오는 거예요. 뒤에 보시다시피 이렇게 인디언 그림도 있고 그래요. 프롤로그부터 읽어볼게요. Prologue. One summer day in Pro Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the tree. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to the place in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. Along the way, Jack and Annie discovered that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan is a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She traveled through time and space gathering books. In Magic Tree House books 5 to 8, Jack and Annie helped to free Morgan from a spell. In books 9 to 12, they solved potion to riddle and became master librarian. In Magic Treehouse books 13 to 16, Jack and Annie had to say potion to stories from being lost forever. In Magic Treehouse books 17 to 20, Jack and Annie must be given four special gifts to help free a mysterious dog from a spell. They have already received one gift, a trip on the Titanic, and now they are about to set out in search of the second gift. Chapter 1. Teddy's back. Off! 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 Jack finished trying his sneakers. Then he looked out his bedroom window. A small dog stood in the early sunlight. He had the fluffy ear and scruffy brown fur. "Daddy!" said Jack. Just then Annie ran into Jack's room. "Daddy's back!" she said. "It's time." It was time for their second mission to help free the little dog from a spell. Jack threw his notebook and pencil into his backpack. Then he followed Annie downstairs and past the kitchen. "Where are you two going? Where are you two going?" their mom called. "Outside," said Jack. "Black Percy will be ready soon," she said. "And grandmother will be here any minute." "We will be right back," said Jack. He loved his grandmother's visit. He she is kind and funny, and she always taught them new things. Jack and Annie slipped out the front door. Teddy was waiting for them. Off! Off! He barked. Hey, where did you go last week? Jack asked. The small dog wagged his tail joyfully. Then he ran up the sidewalk. Wipers! And he shouted. She and Jack followed Terry up the street and into the Frog Creek Wood. They ran between the tree. Wind rattled the leaves. Birds swooped from branch to branch. Terry stopped at the rock ladder that hung from the tallest oak tree in the wood. At the top of the ladder was the magic tree house. Jack and Annie stared up at it. No sign of Morgan, said Annie. Let's go up, said Jack. And he picked up Teddy. And he picked up Teddy. She carried him carefully up the ladder. Jack climbed after her. Inside the treehouse, Teddy sniffed a silver pocket watch on the floor. Beside it was the note that Morgan had written to Jack and Annie, and he picked up the note and read it aloud. This little dog is under spell and needs your help. To free him, you must be given 4 special things: a gift from a ship roasted at sea, a gift from the prairie blue, a gift from a forest far away, a gift from a kangaroo. Be brave, be wise, be careful. We've got the special things, said Annie. The gift from a ship roasted at sea. Yeah, said Jack. He picked up the silver pocket watch. The time on the watch was 2:20. The time the Titanic had sunk. Jack and Annie stared at the watch. Oof! Oof! Terry's barking brought Jack back from his memories. Okay, Jack said. He sighed and pushed his glasses into place. Now it's time to put the gift from the prairie blue. Prairie blue. What's that mean? Said Annie. I'm not sure, said Jack. He looked around the treehouse. But I bet that book will take us there. He picked up a book in the corner. The cover was a picture of a white prairie. The title was The Great Plain. Ready? Jack said. Teddy yipped and wagged his tail. Let's go, said Annie. The sooner we free Teddy, the better. Jack pointed at the cover. I wish we could go there, he said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 2. Ocean of Grass. Ocean of Grass. Early sunlight slanted. Early sunlight slanted into the treehouse. The cool breeze smelled of wild grass. Oh man, said Jack. These are neat clothes. Their jeans and t-shirts had magically changed. Jack had on a buckskin shirt and pants. Anywhere, anywhere, a breezy buckskin dress. They both wore soft leather boots and coonskin cap. Jack's backpack was now a leatherback. I feel like a mountain man, he said. All you're missing is a mountain, said Annie. She pointed out to the window. Jack and Teddy looked out. The treehouse is set in a lone tree in a based, best golden prairie, prairie. The sun was rising in the distance. Windy whispered through the tall yellow grass. Shh, shh, shh. It said, we need a gift from a prairie blue, said Jack. I bet them in the sky, said Annie, looking up. Yep, said Jack. The sky was growing bluer as they watched it. But how are we supposed to get it? Just like last time, said Annie. We have to wait here. Someone give it to us. I don't see any sign of people out there, said Jack. He opened their book and read aloud. The Great Plains are in the middle of the United States. Before the 20th, 20th century, this vast prairie covered nearly a fifth of America's length. Some called it an ocean of grass. Jack pulled out his notebook. Come on, said Annie. She picked up Teddy and carried him down the ladder. Jack quickly wrote a great plan, lots of length. Wow, this is like an ocean of grass. And he called from below. Jack slipped the great plain book and his notebook into his leather bag and climbed down. When he stepped onto the ground, the grass came all the way up to his chest. It tickled his nose. Ah, ah, achoo! He sneezed. Let's go swimming in the grassy ocean, said Annie. She started off with Teddy under her arm. The wind blew gently as Jack hurried after her. All he could see was a rolling wave of grass. They walked and walked and walked. Finally, they stood up to rest. They stopped to rest. We could we could walk for miles and never see anything but grass, said Jack. Off, off. That is said. There's something great up ahead, said Annie. You can't tell what he's saying. You can't tell what he's saying. You can't tell what he's saying, said Jack. He's just barking. I can't help, said Annie. Trust me. We can't walk all day, said Jack. Come on, said Annie. Just a little further. She started walking again. Oh, brother, said Jack. But he kept going through the tall, rippling grass. They went down a small slope, then up a small rise. At the top of the rise, Jack froze. Wow, that's great, he whispered. Told you, said Annie. Chapter 3. Black Yak. Black Hook. Black Hawk. Jack stared at the circle of teepee ahead. Busy people in buckskin moved out in circle. Horse and pony gazed nearby. Jack took out their research book and found a picture of a tappies. He read, in the early 1800s, many different Native American tribe tribe live live on the Great Plain. The Lakota were the largest tribe. They live mostly in the area we now call North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, early 1800s, Lakota were largest tribe of Great Plains. Behind Jack and Annie, a horse neighed. They turned. A horse and rider were heading toward the Tapit camp. The sun was very bright behind the rider. Jack could only see the outline of a body with a bow and quiver of arrow on his back. Jack quickly flipped through the book. He found a picture of a man on horseback carrying a bow and arrow. Below the picture it said the Lakota warrior. Jack read, everything changed for the Native American of the Great Plain after white settler arrived in the mid 1800s. Fighting broke out between Lakota warrior and white soldier. By the end of the 1800s, the Lakota were defeated. They lost both their land and their old way of life. Then looked back at the rider. The warrior was coming closer. Get down, he whispered. Why? Said Annie. This might be a time when the Indian are fighting with the settler, said Jack. A grass rooster as the warrior passed by them. His horse neighed again. Off! Off! Shh! Whispered Jack. But it was too late. The warrior heard the terriers barking. He galloped toward them, grabbed his bow. Wait! Shouted Jack. He jumped up from the grass. We come in peace, the rider hailed. Now Jack saw that he was the only boy on a pony. He couldn't have been more than 10 or 11. Hey, you are just a kid, Annie said, smiling. The boy didn't smiling back, but he did roll his bow while he stared at Annie. What's your name? What's your name? She asked. Black Hawk. Cooling, cooling, said Annie. We are Jack and Annie. We are just visiting. We live in Pro Creek, Pennsylvania. Black Hawk nodded. Then he turned his pony around and stared toward the Lakota camp. Hey, can you come with you? Called Annie. Black Hawker looked back. Yes, he said. Meet my people. You mean your parents? Asked Annie. No, they died long ago, said Black Hawk. I live with my grandmother. Oh, I'd like to meet your grandmother, said Annie. I'm coming to see my grandmother today too. Black Hawk nudged his pony toward the gate and he followed with Teddy. Jack didn't move. What if the Lakota are at war with the white settler? He worried. What if they think we are enemies? Annie! He called softly. Annie! He called softly. We don't know if it's safe or not. But Annie just waved for him to come on. Jack sighed. He opened the research book and quickly flipped through the page. He wanted the information about how to act with the Lakota. On one page he read, good mannered the Lakota mean speaking as few words as possible and sharing gifts when visiting. On another page he read, the Lakota admire those who not show fear. Hmm. Jack's favorite piece of information was holding up two finger mean friend. Jack put the book Jack put the book away. He ran to catch up with Annie, and he was telling Black Hawk all about their grandmother. The boy listened silently. Annie, Jack whispered, I just read that it's good manner to be quiet, and he should give a gift and not show fear. Also, holding up two finger means friend. Annie nodded. Got that? Said Jack. Sure, she said. No talking, no fear, no problem. Jack looked up. He caught his breath. Ahead of them, the people at the campsite had stopped what they were doing. All eyes were turned to Jack and Annie. Jack quickly held up two fingers and he did the same. Chapter 4 Good Manners. Black Hawker led Jack and Annie toward the teepee. Everyone kept watching them. Jack couldn't tell what anyone was thinking. No one looked angry, but no one looked happy either. Jack wondered how to appear brave. He glanced at Annie. She walked tall and straight. Her chin was up. Her pace was calm. Jack straightened his shoulder. Jack straightened his shoulder. 시 발음이 이렇게 안 되지. Shoulder. He lifted his chin and he felt braver. Black Hawk stopped and slid off his pony. The pony headed to the grazing pasture. Pasture. The Black Hawk led them to a teepee. It was covered with buffalo design. Grandmother is inside, Black Hawk said to Jack and Annie. Inside, the teepee looked like a small round room. A fire burned in the center. Smoke rose through a hole at the top. An old woman sat on animal skin. She was sewing beads onto a moccasin. He looked up Jack and Annie. Grandmother, said Black Hawk, this is Jack and Annie from Crook Creek, Pennsylvania. Jack and Annie both held up two fingers for friend. Grandmother raised two fingers also. The buffalo gives our people many gifts, said the old woman. Food from his body, teepee was his skin, tool from his bone. Jack started making a list. Cut from his horn, grandmother went on. Rough was his hair. Even winter slid from his rib. Jack finished his list. Buffalo skin, teepee, bone tools, horn cups, ear ribs, scalp. That remind me of the seal hunter in the attic, said Annie. He used all the gift from the seal body. He didn't waste a thing. Just then, Terry began growling and barking. Jack and Annie turned around. They both gasped. Coming out the grandmother's teepee was a huge wolf. Sunlight and midnight. The wolf, chapter 5. The wolf had yellow eyes and sharp teeth. Terry sneered and barked, and he rushed toward to grab the little dog. Suddenly, the wolf stood up on its hind leg. "Eek!" said Annie. He leaped back. Then she and Jack started to laugh. The pious wolf was Black Hawk wearing a wolf's hide. His head came out through a slit near the wolf's neck. He gave Jack and Annie a little smile. That's a great shoot, said Annie. Why do you wear that? Asked Jack. The UFO is the most powerful hunter of the buffalo, said Black Hook. When I wear his skin, I feel his strength. Wow, said Annie. Black Hawk look at his grandmother. May I show them the buffalo now? He said. Oh, only show, said grandmother. Do not hunt. We have enough meat today. She looked back at Jack and Annie. Rakuten never take more buffalo than we need. She said, That's good, said Annie. Black Hawk handed his wolf skin to grandmother. Then he ran to the gazing pony. He climbed on his. Then held two pony, one black and one yellow, over to Jack and Annie. High midnight, high sunlight, said Annie, naming the pony. She patted their nose. Annie, whispered Jack, how are we going to ride without saddled or rein? Just hold on to their mane, she said, and grab with your leg. What? Annie threw her arm around the Midnight's neck. She slung her rag over the pony's back and pulled herself up. I will carry Teddy in the back, Annie said. Jack picked up Teddy and slipped him inside the reader bag. He handed it to Annie, who hung it over her shoulder. Teddy had it picked out of the bag. Off! He barked. Giddy up, midnight, said Annie. The pony started to walk away. Wait, said Jack. He turned to Black Hawk. He had just a few questions. Black Hawk let out a wild whoop and took off too. Jack took a deep breath. He threw his arm around Sunlight's neck. Then he slung his rag over the pony's back. The pony started to move. Wait, said Jack. He hopped on one foot, trying to keep up. The pony stopped. Slowly, Jack put himself onto Sunlight's back. He grabbed the pony's mane. Then he carefully reached up and pushed his glasses into place. He looked over his shoulder, his shoulder. Grandmother was watching. She nodded at him. Rakota people admire those who do not show fear. Jack remembered. He liked grandmother. He wanted her to admire him. He let out a wild hoof and Sunlight took off like the wind. The hoof made Jack feel braver. He held tightly to Sunlight mane. 갈기지. They caught up with Black Hawk and Annie, and together they all off through the tall grass. Shadow of crowd swept over the plains. They looked like giant duck, giant duck birds spreading their wings. Black Hawk's pony stopped at the top of a grassy slope. Sunlight and midnight hurted right behind him. Jack couldn't believe his eyes. Before them were thousands and thousands of uh, grazing buffalo. Chapter 6. Stamped, Stamped, Stamp, Stampede, Stampede, Stampede. Wow, whispered Jack and Annie together. Black Hawk looked silently at the gazing buffalo. Hand me the research book, said Jack, and ripped Teddy out of the bag. Then he slid the book out and gave it to Jack. He found a picture of a buffalo here. He read to himself. The true name of the buffalo is Bison. At the beginning of the 1800s, there were 40 million bison on the Great Plain. 100 years later, there were less than 300. Almost all had been killed by white hunter or soldier. Soldier. Now, Jack knew for certainty they'd come to the time before the white settler and soldier had arrived, before the end of the great buffalo herd. I have been on many hunts. Jack Black Hawk said, his eyes still on the buffalo. Were you scared? Were you scared? Said Jack. Black Hawk shook his head. You're really brave, said Annie. Black Hawk smiled proudly. I will show you how a brave hunt moves, he said. He slid off his pony. Wait! Your grandmother said not to hunt, said Annie. Plus, we don't have your wolf skin. I'm not afraid, said the Black Hawk. I don't think you should go down there, said Jack. There's no around. Grown-ups around. Grown-ups around. There's no grown-ups around. But Black Hawk wasn't listening. He began chirping on all four toward the buffalo. I have a feeling something bad is going to happen, said Annie. Jack had the same feeling. He looked back at the book. A bison can weigh 2,000 pounds and stand 6 feet high. If one becomes alarmed by a hunter, he might start running and set off a terrifying stampede. Jack looked back at Black Hawk. He was creeping closer and closer to the herd. Jack's heart pounded. He wanted to shout, come back! But he didn't want to scare any of the huge pious-looking animals. Keeping his eyes on Black Hawk, Jack handed the plain book to Annie. She slid it back into the bag beside Teddy. Black Hawk stopped just as he was passing the nearest buffalo. His eyes squeezed shut, his nose winked up, his mouth open. What's he doing? Asked Jack. Ah, ah, achoo! Black Hawk sneezed. 아, 아, achoo구나. achoo! Black Hawk sneezed. Oh, said Annie. A huge buffalo jerked its head up and made a low, moaning sound. Then it pointed its horn and charged. Watch out! Cried Jack. Black Hawk threw himself out of the way of the charging buffalo. A rifle went through the herd as the other shaggy animal looked up. Suddenly, Teddy jumped out of Annie's arm. He handed in the tall grass and ran toward the buffalo. Teddy! Teddy! Shouted Annie. The dog tore down the hill. He bounded, uh, he bounded along the edge of the herd, barking furiously. Teddy, come back! Cried Annie. He slid off his pony and ran after Teddy. Jack tried to save Black Hawk. The boy was still dodging the running buffalo. He looked tired. He looked tired. Jack took a deep breath. Go to Black Hawk. Go to Black Hawk, he said. Nothing sunlight with his knees. The golden pony charged down the slope. He ran between the buffalo. Black Hawk! Jack shouted. Black Hawk started running toward the sunlight. The buffalo swerved behind him. Sunlight slowed as Black Hawk got near. The boy threw himself over the golden pony's back. He held on to Jack as sunlight veered away from the buffalo and ran back up the slope. Where's Annie? Jack cried as they reached the top. There, said Black Hawk, pointing. Annie was surrounded by buffalo. Come, buffalo. She was petting them and talking to them. The buffalo near her had stopped running too. The ones beyond those started to calm down. Then until all the buffalo had stopped running. They began gazing again as if nothing had happened. Chapter 7. White Buffalo Woman. She had good medicine, said Black Hawk. Annie doesn't have any medicine. Jack said she just have a way with animals. Black Hawk was silent. He climbed back on his waiting pony. Then he rode down toward Annie. Jack followed, and his pony trailed behind. Annie turned to Jack and Black Hawk as they rode up to her. On her face was a look of amazement. You wouldn't believe what happened, she said. You stopped the stampede, said Black Hawk. But it wasn't just me, said Annie. What do you mean? Asked Jack. I was trying to find Teddy, said Annie, and I got in the way of the buffalo. I couldn't escape. So I held up my hand and shouted, Stop! Then out of now here, a beautiful lady in a white leather dress came to help me. You sure lady in white? Asked Black Hawk. His eyes had grown wide. Yes, said Annie. She held up her hand and the buffalo stopped running. Then she disappeared. Where's Teddy? Said Jack. Annie gasped. I don't know. I forgot about him. She said, Teddy! Off, off! The little dog came bounding out of the grass toward them, and he scooped him up. Teddy licked her face all over. Where did you go? And I asked him, Did you see a beautiful lady too? That lady does not live in this earth. That lady does not live on this earth. Black Hawk said softly. What do you mean? Said Annie. You saw a spirit of a white buffalo woman. He said, What do you mean, spirit? Said Jack. You mean like a ghost? Black Hawk turned his pony around. Let's go back, he said. You must tell grandmother. And he put Teddy in Jack's bag. Then she climbed on her pony and they took off. Behind them, the buffalo gazed peacefully and on the plain. Okay, I'm stopped just a moment. I stopped for a while.